Avengers assemble. I've always wanted to say that. Plus, it's my birthday, so don't tell me what to do. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today, we're going to talk about Captain America Brave New World, the ramifications of Thaddeus Ross asking Sam Wilson to get the Avengers back together, who's left, and who could potentially be on this new Avengers lineup, and who's most likely to be on it, mostly. So let's break down who's still alive, who could potentially join, and any newcomers that are on their way that could join this team before Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. All right, let's jump into it. Brave New World sets the stage for this new Avengers era. And let's be honest, Sam Wilson has a massive task in front of him. The old guard is mostly gone or retired, and all the potential new recruits are scattered across the multiverse and dealing with their own crises. And Sam, well, he's the one that's got to put it all back together because the world's going to need the Earth's mightiest heroes. All right, let's go over the survivors list. Let's talk about who's still alive from the old guard. First up, we have Captain America, aka Sam Wilson. He's the one leading the charge and just went toe-to-toe with President Thaddeus Ross, who just happened to Hulk out in this film. But he will definitely be the grounded compass of this new team. Next, we have Bucky, aka the Winter Soldier, who, spoiler alert here, was featured in this film and did make a return, only briefly, but did make a return in Captain America Brave New World. But I'm not 100% sure that he will survive the events of Thunderbolts, although Sebastian Stan does have the longest MCU contract of any other actor, so he could be sticking around for a while. Up next is Carol Danvers, whose status is a little questionable right now, and we're not quite sure where she is, but she is still alive and still in the MCU somewhere. Next, we have Doctor Strange. Listen, the guy's been super busy recently, fighting off incursions, babysitting Clea, and potentially taking off Kang. But we're definitely going to need a magic user in the mix, so Doctor Strange will definitely be on this team. Next, we have Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man. The last time we saw Peter, no one remembered who he was. So that does give him an advantage in this film with no one knowing that it was Peter Parker, but everyone still knows that Spider-Man exists. So he might be able to get a bit more gritty and a bit more less tied to his human emotions and more tied to the Spider-Man persona, which might lead to a darker portrayal of this character. Up next, we have Bruce Banner, aka the Hulk, who is going to definitely want to know what happened to Thaddeus Ross, who just hulked out, and he's going to want to get to the bottom of why that happened, which I expect there to be a different movie probably taking on that exact idea that is an official sequel to The Incredible Hulk. And then we have Thor, who, yes, is still out there. I know we haven't seen him in a while, but he is still in the MCU. I expect him to step away from his babysitting duties of love and jump back into the action, at least by Avengers Secret Wars, if not by Doomsday. All right, so that is our current old guard, who's still surviving list. Now let's talk about who's gone and who could potentially make a return. This is where we get into questionable territory, so just know that this is potential, not impossible, but there's a way that they could work this all out. First up on that list is Wanda Maximoff, aka the Scarlet Witch, who we saw her get crushed on the Mountain of Wundagore, but no one has been able to confirm if she's actually alive or dead yet. And we thought we were going to get more about this information in Agatha All Along, but we didn't get any of that. Next, there's a potential of Old Cap to return, in which we saw in Captain America Brave New World with Isaiah Bradley that it doesn't matter if you're old, you still can rip things apart. So Old Cap could potentially be a member of this new Avengers team. Although it would kind of undercut Sam Wilson, so I think they'll leave Steve Rogers out of this. And then there is a possibility that they bring back Tony Stark as Iron Man as well as Doctor Doom. But that would all be due to multiversal crossovers, and I don't really think that they're going to do this, but it is possible because Marvel would do anything to get their golden boy back. Now, let's go over who could join and who I think are most likely to be members of this new team. I think the easiest layup here is Yelena Belova, aka Black Widow, aka Black Widow 2.0. With her appearance in Thunderbolts and her popularity, I think Marvel would be silly to leave her out of the new Avengers lineup. Next on my list is Reed Richards, aka Mr. Fantastic. I don't think there's any form of the new Avengers that doesn't have at least one or two of the Fantastic Four. With that being said, my next pick is Sue Storm, aka Invisible Woman, who can truly be an asset by being invisible and having these force fields, and can truly be a defensive mechanism that they haven't really had thus far. Here's my official lineup for the new Avengers going into Doomsday. And this list is leaving out all multiversal options. And if you guys want me to do a version of this that includes your Deadpools, your Wolverines, your X-Men, people from past films and things like that, then we could definitely do that. But this is just main MCU of who could potentially be our new Avengers. So without further ado, here's my final list of the new Avengers. We have Sam Wilson, Captain America, Bucky Barnes, Winter Soldier, Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange, Peter Parker, Reed Richards, Sue Storm, and Yelena Belova. And this team has the perfect mix of leadership, strategy, cosmic power, and magic. But let's be real, it's the MCU, surprises are gonna happen. And this final team will likely shift and will likely add multiversal versions of a lot of these characters or characters we've never seen before. I do believe that Miles Morales is coming, though, and I might do an entire video about how I think Beyond the Spider-Verse is going to end with Miles coming into the MCU. But what do you guys think? Leave your new Avengers list in the comments down below. And if you guys want to do a multiversal version of this video, let me know in the comments as well, and I'll get that video out for you as soon as I can. But as always, I love y'all. Stay beautiful.